What is going on, YouTube? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the channel. Wow, this is going to be a fun stream. I am so excited for this. I have no idea how this is going to end up. We may end up in a ball of fire off the side of the runway, and it may be the first time that I've ever crashed live on stream, but we're going to do it anyway because I found last night, well, I didn't find. I was talking to one of the guys in the Discord, and he had a link to an FMOD SOUNDPACK that somebody has created for the MD80. I said, I got to try it. I tried it this morning briefly, and I immediately said to my wife, I was like, we got to cancel our plans. I'm doing a live stream tonight because this needs to be heard by you guys. It is absolutely amazing sound pack. I think there's a free version, and then I think you join the Patreon, it's like $5 or whatever, and you can get the full HD sounds. But you guys be the judge. I think it's pretty darn good. I love the MD80. You guys know I love the MD80, and I'm kind of on this MD80 kick right now since we got it working again. So good to see everybody here. Philip, good to see you. Frank C, Jump in Run, what's going on? Tools in Action, thank you for your kind words, my friend. Cosmic Doubloon in the house. Dougal McTavish is here. Good to see you, man. David G, George's FS Videos, how's it going? Carl Childers also in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you guys. So this is a shorter route. We're going Salt Lake to Aspen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time through the startup. I'm going to try not to jump ahead because I have a tendency to jump ahead in the checklist. But I want you guys to see, because a lot of you guys were learning the same procedures from this checklist. So I'm going to just go through it step by step. We'll take our time. We're completely cold and dark. We're also going to do a smoking power back. We're not using no pushback tug out of here. We're going retro. I do have us at the wrong gate. This appears to be the Alaska gate here instead of Delta, but hey, we'll make it work. I just wanted to go to what is that, 2-4 or 3-4, whatever that runway is over there. I didn't want to taxi for 45 minutes. So other than that, I think we're ready to get this show on the road, guys. Now, I was trying to pull up the link. Let me get a link for you here for the sound mod that I'm using, because I know you guys are going to be asking for it. So let me put it in the Discord. Maybe one of my mods can copy it and continue to post it if it gets asked. I should have put it in the Nightbot command. Matter of fact, you know what? I can do it right now. Let me see if I can do a Nightbot command real quick here. It's going to be !soundpack and then livery submit. So let's go ahead and try it. Sound pack, see if that works. But all right, so lovely retro Delta livery here. I don't know if Delta ever took an MD80 into Aspen. I highly doubt it. So I think Slamkin had said there was a 737 that went in there one time. I've been into Aspen County a couple times as a corporate pilot, and most of the times I've been in there Slotation, Citation 2, Citation Bravo. So not nearly as sketchy as going in there in an MD80. So this should be interesting. I have crashed the FlyJSim 737-200 into Aspen before. I did crash it one time in there. So who knows how this is going to end up. I think it's going to be fun. I hope you're all excited. So let's hop in to the airplane here. I'll get my mouse back on the screen. Perfect. We're completely cold and dark. Right now I have the aircraft sitting on ground power availability, but I don't have anything set. Captain Tom has become a member to the channel. Captain Tom, welcome, my friend, to the channel. He's been around here a long time. Captain Tom, thank you so much for joining the V1 simulations community. Officially a member now. Get some positive rates out there for Captain Tom. Excellent, my friend. Thank you as well, Captain Tom. He did kind of an emergency reposition for me. I had this airplane. You guys knew the last time I streamed it, I flew into LAX. So I said, hey, I need this MD80 repositioned to Salt Lake for today's stream. He was able to do it with a buttery 143 feet per minute landing here into Salt Lake for us. So thank you, Captain Tom, and thank you for becoming a member. Excellent. All right. Carl Childers says you've flown a Citation 7 Ultra into Aspen a few times during the summer of 1998. Nice, man. Citation Ultra, huh? Can a Mad Dog land legally in Aspen County? I don't know. I'm not typed on the Mad Dog. I don't know if there's any restrictions on the I don't know. I mean, feasibly, yes, it could be done, I think, if it was maybe a private MD80.
Cockpit preparation checklist.
Let's go ahead and get into this cockpit prep checklist.
Brake. Set. Battery.
Battery switch on and locked.
Position lights.
Position lights, we'll get those on. We'll make sure we're listening to the sounds, because these sounds are freaking sweet.
On. Emergency exit lights.
We'll arm the emergency exit lights.
Arm. No smoking signs. On.
Are on.
Request GPU.
All right, GPU is requested, so let's go ahead and turn it on here. You're going to hear some different cockpit sounds there. I'm going to crank my volume a little bit more. You hear the packs kicking in there. Well, not even the packs, just the electric fan and all that stuff for the avionics fans. All right, so they are both on.
Requested. External power bus left and right. Both on.
They are on.
Start pump.
And we're going to fire up the APU.
On. APU start.
So I believe it's aft forward fuel tank. I don't know why it doesn't call for it. Or it says it calls for it on here, but I think I turned it on before start anyway. So let's go ahead and fire up the APU off of the GPU.
Started.
Take a listen. Mm-hmm. That is an APU startup sound right there, friends. Carl, you say you're flying 7.6s and 777s all over South America and X-Plane lately. Lots of fun. Awesome, man. Definitely high decision altitudes out there. High density altitude, I think. Yeah, high density altitude. Absolutely, man. South America has got some really high altitude airports. Listen to that APU, though. Full FMOD APU. And you can tell as we come to the front of the airplane here, it fades away. Let's take a listen back here. This is going to be one of my favorite views now, just because of the sound. It really sounds realistic to me when you're sitting back here and the engines are running, and it's just, I'm excited. We'll get to it. So let's continue on with our checklist. I'm getting sidetracked because I'm so excited.
APU power bus left and
all right,
right.
Our APU is fired up. We're going to get it on. Both bus.
On. Aft right fuel pump.
I already have that on.
On. External power bus left and right.
We'll go ahead and disconnect the external
Both
power
off.
bus, and we'll dismiss the GPU.
lead.
And then we'll continue with the cockpit prep. So what I like to do now, since I like to do things in real time, I'm going to dismiss the GPU. Let's go ahead and look at our situation here. So all tanks, I think we need 19,000 pounds. And I did a very specific load that I know we can land in there. We're relatively light. If I do trip fuel of 16, or let's do trip fuel of 15,000, so we have 4,000 extra. That's 2 hours. Oh yeah, that's a lot of fuel. We can probably drop this down to, yeah, we don't even need, let's go 17,000. We'll go 18. We'll go even 18,000. Center is going to be completely dry, and if we use 15,000, so that's enough fuel to get there, plus our alternate 2,000 reserve, 801 miles. We got plenty of fuel. Our landing weight's going to be 30,000 under max. I'd like to get that landing weight right below 100, so we're pretty close. I could probably, let's go ahead and even take less fuel. Let's go 17,500. There we go. We'll take 500 pounds less fuel. Nah, you know what? 18,000. Screw it. 18,000, 100 people going to Aspen, 250 in the cargo. Our landing weight's sitting there at 105. We're going to burn some fuel here on the startup, so that should be okay. We're going to start loading fuel. We're going to start loading cargo, and we're going to start loading the passengers. Captain Tom, you said you flew with the FMOD earlier. It's amazing. I totally agree, man. Totally agree. Bug Eater Simpson, did I miss your joining of the channel? I am so sorry. Bug Eater Simpson, get some positive rates out there, my friends, all my members in the chat. Bug Eater, welcome to the V1 Simulations community, man. I'm glad you're joining the channel. If you guys, man, I freaking forgot to do it again. I got to put a command down, but one of my mods or somebody just PM me after this stream to remind me to put a welcome command for Nightbot. But Bug Eater Simpson, I've seen you here. I hope you're familiar with it. Check out the V1 After Dark content. It's exclusive to members only. As well, if you are a Discord user, feel free to join the Discord and sync your YouTube account to it so you can gain a little extra content there with the V1 After Dark channel in Discord. And it's always easier to communicate to me in that channel as opposed to just a random channel in the Discord, because it does get pretty popular sometimes, which is totally good. That's what it's there for. But welcome aboard, Bug Eater. Glad to have you on board, my friend. All right, back to our cockpit preparation. HP bleed, both on. So we're coming up here, HP bleed. Want to put it in the middle position.
Both on. Galley.
Galley power, we need a flight attendant to start making some coffee for us.
Windshield anti-fog.
Anti-fog is coming on. Anti-ice will be coming on as well.
Windshield anti-ice. On. IRS 1 and 2 mode.
Let's go nav on both.
NAV. Yaw damper.
Yaw damper switch is kind of in a weird spot over here. 3-position switch. Make sure you put it in the middle
Logo
position.
Light.
Logo light is on.
Radio rack. Fan.
Into fan.
Cabin pressure.
All right, so cabin pressure. Check this out. Field elevation at Aspen is 7,600 feet. This sucker will not go past 72. So this is where, when one of you guys were asking if the MD80 can land in Aspen County, this may be an aircraft limitation where you can't take it to airports higher than 7,400 feet. I know the Airbus has a couple of limitations, whether you're in the 319, 20, or 21. I think it's around 8,300 feet or 9,100 feet is the absolute field elevation that you can land on or operate out of. Now, the Mad Dog, obviously being an older aircraft, I would imagine that it has a limitation less than that. So it may not be physically possible for an MD80 to fly into Aspen due to cabin pressurization scheduling. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing that out for you. It could be a limitation on the airplane that I'm unfamiliar with. But I know the Airbus has a limitation like that, and seeing that this scale doesn't go past 72, I can't even get it up there to 74. That's as far as I can get it at 73,000 or 7,300 feet. So cabin pressure is set right now. Let me put the landing baro in there before I forget. Aspen baro right now is 29997. So pretty close, right about there, 29907. And then that should be good. All right, so altimeter fuel used reset. We're going to reset that as well. Come back over here on the bottom of the panel. David G coming in with a $2 bomb. Super chat says, "Evening, Captain. Have to make this a two-part. ... David G, thank you so much for the support, man. Glad you're enjoying the content. I think you said you're making it a two-part super chat there. Thank you so much for your contribution. There's the second half right there. Had initial interview with RPA today. Can't wait. David G. David G. Hey, man. Give me a ring in the Discord. DM me and let me know how it went. And I've got a lot of friends over there that still work at RPA up there in management as well. So give me a DM. Let me know how the interview went, and we'll talk later, my friend. Excellent. That's very exciting news.
Set. Altimeter.
All right, altimeter 4. Altimeter 4, there's the second part. Thank you so much for your donation to the channel as well, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, our current altimeter here in Salt Lake is 3016, so let's go ahead and get that in there before we forget to do so. 3016. I'm going to go ahead and just hide this yoke real quick, and we'll go ahead and turn on our PFD and ND. And we'll also get our FMS or FMC, whatever they call it in the Mad Dog.
Fuel used reset.
Still used as reset. Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2.
Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2.
Over here to low.
Both low. Takeoff condition.
Takeoff condition right now we're showing 0-0 across the board.
CG 0 and flap 0. Transponder.
2000
and standby mode.
Standby mode, perfect.
Checklist complete.
All right, now there
FMS
is
assistant. Rep airport.
There is some ATC chatter with this sound pack, but I have not been able to call it up. It says if you go to 118.1 through 118.9, you'll have ground communications. But I have not been able to pull that up, so I don't know if it's a slight bug or what. Let's see, we'll go VHF2. We'll see if we hear any ground chatter. I haven't been able to hear any. So we're going to skip the FMS assistant. We're going to load that up ourselves here. So let's go ahead and hop down to the FMS view here. Pause init. Do I have the experimental librain for the rotate? No, I do not, Captain Tom. Law expression videography, how are you? I'm doing just fine, man. Welcome. Do you have the citation? No, I do not. Are you referring to the Coronado citation? I do not have that. I've really been tempted to because my first jet landing was in a 550, and they have I think they have a Bravo, right? I know they have a 550 model out, so I've been extremely tempted to pick it up, but I know that I'll be disappointed. At least I think I will be, so I haven't done it yet. All right, here we go. Routes, we're going to go from Salt Lake City, SLC, to Aspen, ASE. And we can activate that, execute. What kind of window do we have here in Salt Lake? We're departing 320 at 5. Perfect. So, I think here... Yeah, we'll take off 3-4 right. We're just going to power back and go to 3-4 right. So that'll match up just fine. Departures. Next page, 3-4 right on the rugged one. And we're going to Eker. Execute. And back to our route page here. After Eker, we are going to join Victor 108 to Delta Bravo Lima, and then technically we're going straight in from there. So, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to change that. We're going to shoot the localizer 15 Echo into Aspen. So localizer 15 Echo from, I prefer going in from Ajax because it's more of a straight in. So we're going to select Ajax. Now that's going to mess our flight plan up here in plan mode. Let's take a look at it. We're going to modify it here so it's a little bit more straight. So we're going to step through this. So vectors, and then, all right, so we're going to step through. There's rugged, upjar, bores, Eker, Truel. So you can see this goes all the way out to DBL. We don't want to go to DBL. We're going to get rid of DBL. We're going to make a slight modification here. We're going to execute that. Now we need to step back to where that's the missed approach. So let's go ahead and go over this again. Rugged, upjar, bores. I'm looking over here as I step through because it's kind of hard. Maybe I can adjust this. There we go. So let's go ahead and continue where we are. Eker, next step, Truel. Perfect. Lilo, and then Ajax. That's how we want it. And then that's going to put us right on the loc for 1.5. And then if we have to go missed, hopefully we don't, there's our missed procedure. So that looks good. So we've got that set up. We're going to leave that disco in there. So that is set. So now we go perf init. We are still loading. Are we not? No, we are done loading. So I should be able to go. Let's take a look here. Did I stop loading? No, we should be good to go. Let's see. 0 fuel weight. That doesn't seem right, does it? No, that's right. 97.5, 97.6. Perfect. Fuel on board. 18. Perfect. 115.5 reserves. We're taking 2,000. We're going cost index of 99. Cruise altitude is going to be 290. Now, we are going to set this after we do engine start. Right now, we are +3C. Set that right there. Execute. So we'll set our V speeds after we do engine start. You guys showed me that last time. Captain Tom says, Phantom in the Discord said it perfectly. Coronado makes beautiful trash. Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with that, man. They make some beautiful trash for sure. Trash is a harsh word, but I've been disappointed before. All right, we're going to skip the FMS. We're going to skip this checklist.
Start checklist.
Let's go ahead and do our before start.
APU bleed air.
Let's go ahead and get APU bleed air on.
On. HP bleed.
We're going to do 1 off.
1 off. New X feed valve left and right.
Pneumatic crossfeed valves.
Both open.
Open.
Doors.
Let's go ahead and close up the doors. Close, retract, close, close. We'll also come here. We'll do ground handling, drive away all. Let's say button up the airplane here. Captain Thompson is a 550 II. Oh, 552, citation 2, and you'll be disappointed. All right. Video law expression, LAX expression, videography said you're the master, would be easy for you. Thanks, man. I don't know if I'm the master, but I'm tempted. Maybe. I'm not going to make any promises, but maybe. David G., you're one of the few that wants CMH. Nice. I got a good friend. He's a Czech airman there in Columbus. He's a really good friend of mine. We were actually... we were new hires together many years ago. But yeah, he's still there. Alright, so they are packing up. That looks good. We'll go ahead and just hide them now. Goodbye. Doors are closed.
All closed. Throttle.
Idle.
Idle.
Galley power, we'll go ahead
Galley.
and shut it off right now.
Off. Aft and FWD fuel pumps.
On.
Left
Center
and
pumps
right
are going to
off.
stay off because we don't have any fuel in our
fuel
center tank.
pumps. As required. HP bleed. Both off.
Both off.
Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2. Both low. Hydraulic pumps trans. On. Hydraulic auxiliary.
There's our hydraulic pressure coming to life right there.
Position and strobe lights. Both on. Anti-COL light. On. Transponder. XPDR mode.
XPDR mode.
Checklist complete.
All right.
FCU.
I'm going to go ahead and
Flight
disconnect
director.
the jet bridge by releasing the parking brake. Flight director is on.
Max bank angle.
Is going to be the little knob here. Oh, I'm sorry, the big knob.
158 degree. Heading runway track.
So departing runway 34, we'll just dial in 340 on the heading here. Heading runway track is set. Departure altitude.
Departure altitude.
Let's take a look at our departure procedure. We're coming off of 3-4, so it's going to be a slight left turn, and we're going to hit Bubby, and then all the way out to Eaker. Top altitude is flight level 230. Set 230 in the window here, and set amber, so that looks good.
Set.
Speed, we are going to set 250. We're going to bug 250. And I also want to do heading select. I see that's off there in the FMA. 250. Heading select 340. Perfect.
Set.
FCU is set.
Engine start checklist.
All right, we're pretty much ready for the engine start checklist now. Listen to that APU running there in the background. David G coming in with another $2 super chat. He says, Wilco, now for some MD80 magic. David G, thanks so much, man. Thanks for supporting the channel again. And absolutely, man, I'm curious to see how it went. I'm glad you're going there. I think it's a great place. And yes, let's get this MD80 magic on the road. Dave R, you said you just picked up the new Cessna 208 by Coronado and was disappointed. It's like 95% there. It's the 5% that makes the difference. Couldn't agree more, Dave R. Could not agree more, my friend. All right, let's go ahead and get this checklist running. I'm pretty sure at some point we have announcements. Maybe I have to turn the seatbelt sign on. There we go. I think that'll do it. There is cabin announcements and everything on this sound pack too. Maybe not. All right. I mean, I know there is, but that wasn't the trigger for it. I forget what the triggers are. I probably should have read the manual a little bit more on the sound pack, but we'll turn up the volume for everybody. All right, we'll continue.
Ignition switch SYSA.
All right, system A on. There we go.
Engine start right.
There we go. Engine start right. And basically, we're just going to start it, right? Okay, so we'll clear that out. And here we go. Let's go ahead and start engine 2. Getting ready for a power back. Let's take a listen. Smooth flying rotate MD80 worth it? Absolutely. I think so, man. But I'm slightly impartial because I love older airplanes. And with this sound pack, to me, it's worth it. Without the sound pack, it's definitely a little bit dull. Oh, yes. Spin it up. That's the sound I hear. And then you come up forward here, a little bit different, up in front of the wing, getting a little bit more quiet. That's a JT8D right there. All right, so that's a good start on engine number 2. We'll go ahead and secure that. Start up engine 1. I'm going to reset the parking brake there. Now, there was a way to get auto. I'm trying to figure out where my announcements are playing. Waiting for that 20%. You have the Turbo 210, pretty decent. Carl Childers, yes, with the rep. So absolutely, with the rep, I think they're fantastic. I don't know if you can hear that little light off in the back there when I increase that fuel. You hear that little poof. That's exactly what it sounds like. Might be hard to pick up on stream, but I love it. There's bus transfer. So we've got both engines started now. We'll go ahead and turn that off, kill the start pump, off APU bus. APU air can come off, and we'll go ahead and shut down the APU, and then I'll pick up the checklist. So we've already started. After start, ignition off.
Ignition switch off. Engine start. Both off. APU bleed air.
That is off.
Off. APU power bus left and right. Both off. APU. Off.
Spooling down.
Galley. On. Fuel heat.
Not required, so we'll leave it off.
As required. Ice protect meter cell heat.
Goes the captain.
Capped. Hydraulic pumps 1 and 2. Both high.
Both high.
New X feed valve left and right.
Let's close the pneumatic cross feed.
Both closed. HP bleed.
HP bleed, back to the overhead. Both auto.
Both auto. Speed brake.
Speed brake. We'll arm that here with our HOTAS.
Armed. Takeoff condition.
Alright, so now we're going to come back down here. What are our V speeds saying? 136, 42, 48. That's without the flaps extended, right? So there's going to change. I'll have to clarify that, but we'll go ahead and set our CG of 17. So we're going to set CG to 17. Our flap setting is going to be flaps 15. That's just about 5.5, close to 5.6. So we're watching the trim come down here. We want to put the notch right between 5 and 6 because that's about where that is. Perfect. Oh, you know what? We're not going to set the flaps until we do our
CG
power back.
and flaps set. Trim. Set.
All right,
flaps.
So that is set. We're going to go ahead and do our... I'm going to make sure those are on. Seatbelt sign is on for now. I know I've been resetting it. Emergency light not armed. Oh, there we go. On, parking brakes, and flight recorder is off for now. Perfect. All right, so we're going to release the brakes for our power back here. We're going to select reverse thrust. Oh. And we're going to slowly increase thrust until the aircraft begins moving. Oh, yes. You need to hit the like button for that. That is a like button shot right there. You can get kind of fancy and turn the nose wheel as well. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is you don't want to hit the brakes when you're doing a power back because you can tip it. So what you do is you close the reverse thrust and add a little bit of forward thrust. We'll come back at a 45 here. All right, throttles to idle. Stow the buckets. A little bit of forward thrust. And we're set. I'll go ahead and set the brakes. All right, now we can go ahead and set flaps 15. The flap sounds are, I don't know if they're extra, they're just quiet, more quiet than I thought they'd be, or they're kind of muted. I can't really recall, so. And I'm also wondering why we don't have any announcements, because I definitely had announcements the first time I flew this with this sound pack. Maybe I needed to be on VHF 1. I do not know. All right, that is set. So now our flaps are set to 15. So let me rerun these V speeds. There we go. Still 17, 135. Now we can do a takeoff config check. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and release the brake, but I'm going to hold the brakes down. We're going to move the thrust levers forward. Perfect. Takeoff config check is okay. Brake set. We'll continue with our checklist.
Takeoff. Auto brake selector.
Auto brake selector. We're going to put that into takeoff mode.
Checklist complete. Taxi out checklist.
Right.
Seat belts. On.
Seatbelts are on.
Nose light.
Nose light dim.
Dim. Timer.
We're going to start the timer.
Run. Parking brake. Released. Brakes. Checked.
Flight controls.
Flight controls. Checked. Weather radar WX/CAS. Set. Transponder. TA/RA mode.
TARA.
Transponder direction.
Above.
Above. Auto brake mode.
We'll go ahead and arm the auto brake mode now.
Oral config warning.
We already did the oral config warning. We had none. So we are ready to
Checklist
taxi
complete.
out. All right, guys. I'm going to just check real quick before I taxi out the SoundPack info file, just because I wonder why I'm not getting any announcements. So let me just look in the file here. Info. So, cabin doors, ATC chatter, blah, blah, blah. PA announcements can be enabled with the seatbelt switch. So, I moved the seatbelt switch. Maybe I need it off? Let's put them off. And then let's go ahead and turn them on. It was actually a really good cabin announcement, so I think it might just be a little bug. But hey, we'll work with it. We are ready to taxi out. We're going to 3-4 left. Listen to these engines. Brian Harris says, V1, you were having a ball. I know, man. I apologize. I kind of got away from the chat there, too, but I'm back on it. I'm going to pay attention in the chat a little bit more now. I just wanted to get this thing rolling. I mean, that sound? Come on, guys. Now, I will admit, from a distance, it's missing a little bass. It almost sounds like one of my sound files isn't up all the way or something. Let me just make sure everything is good here. I'll bump these up. But it almost sounds like there's a small bug happening, but hey, I'm still happy with it. It sounds worlds better than any other sound pack that I've tried for the MD80. And you guys are probably thinking, well, it still sounds pretty quiet up front, but that is true to real life, man. As many times as I've been on that jump seat, it is really quiet up front. You really only hear the engines on takeoff or when you're really spooling them up. Where do we get the sound pack from? Exclamation point sound pack. Should bring it up for you, man. That's a link. I am using the paid for version, so he has a free version, and then you can become a member of his Patreon. You don't have, there's no term commitment. You could probably just become a member. It's $5, get the sounds that you'd like, and then, you know, decide from there. But he's got a bunch of other stuff. He's actually working on, it sounds like some Neo sounds for the Airbus. I'm loving it. Alright, we can probably taxi a little bit faster than 2 knots. Back up front here, nice and quiet. A little bit of whine in the background. We've got a low fail. We can go ahead and turn that off for now. Put that back in nav mode. Beautiful. You think LM should jump back into COM AVI with Boeing struggles? Not sure what you mean with that, man. What's up, V1? What's up, HD? Good to have you here. Welcome aboard. Should be a single low tune chime. So off. On. So there's 2 chimes. I think is there only one in the back? Right, Carter says he has more sounds. He definitely does. He has a 330 sound pack. He has a 350 sound pack, 757. But I haven't even really looked at the Neo just yet. But I did see that Neo stuff on his page, so I might have to check that out. Nice little wing flex there. Make sure the avionics are configured in the yoke this time. Dimitri, thanks for the reminder. Absolutely, they are on, man. Wow, I need to really like taxi here. Okay, enough messing around. I don't know if it's something. I feel like the ground friction really takes a lot to get the airplane rolling in the MD80. I don't know if that's true to real life. It should probably just roll pretty easily, I would imagine. Especially with our weight, we're pretty light. Do I notice a slight roll axis dead zone with the honeycomb? Let's see. No? I mean, I barely touch my yoke and it moves. Not really a dead zone there for me. Maybe it's something that you have configured in the up here in your X-plane settings. Or we'll come right here and hold short of 3, 4 right. Kill the nose light, brake set. Let's run our checklist here.
Takeoff checklist.
Ignition switch going to both.
On. Landing lights.
Landing
left
right,
and
nose
right.
light, EPR mode, and then auto throttle. So I know how to do all that. So we're going to go ahead and skip
Takeoff
that.
and
Take off. We know how to do all that.
Climb
checklist. We'll do that once we get airborne. So come back over here. We're going to go full takeoff. No assumed temperature. Toga push button is takeoff mode. We got takeoff across the FMA. Let's go ahead and line up and wait for Delta, what are we, 519? Lights are coming on. Logo light is on up there, perfect. Man, something about that MD80. I think it being a very close replica to the 7.2 is why I love this airplane so much. Carter says, I downloaded it, not tested yet, but the README says it merges with BSS 1.5, so it may mix the two packs, which may be good. Hey, absolutely, Carter. Let me know how it sounds, man. I'll give it a test this week as well. All right. Tiang Sun says, V1, I heard the Neo had as an AF CG weight and balance problem similar to the Max problem. Is it true? No. There was a note on or there was a airworthiness, not even an airworthiness directive. It was a word of caution, essentially, that came out for the Neo. And it said that, literally, verbatim, guys, if I had my, it's not verbatim, it's from my memory, but if I were to read it from you, it basically said, if you have a maximum AF CG and you have maximum AF cargo, and you are in a nose-up position, and you increase throttles or thrust levers to full power, that you may encounter a nose-high pitch attitude in a stall that becomes unrecoverable. So literally, you have to do all those things wrong first. Then obviously, yes, you're going to have a problem if you stall the airplane. So that's what it came out. I think it was just, I think somebody was probably trying to get at Airbus to try to make something of it, make an issue of something that really wasn't an issue, because the circumstances of which that was going to happen, you would be, I mean, you shouldn't be flying an airplane anyway if you got the airplane into that state. But basically what it said was if you got the airplane into a certain configuration with a certain loadout, that you could enter a stall that would be almost unrecoverable. All right, our lights are on. I love the little lights hanging down here from the wing tips. Let's do it. We're going to spool them up. We're going to do it from the cockpit here, so I'm going to spool it up 50%. Oh, I have my auto thrust button bound, I think, right? I do. E for takeoff. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That hum. Oh. I know I'm going left and right down the side of the runway, but I don't want to hear it. All right, let's get back in the freaking cockpit here. That sounds awesome. We're well past V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Oh. The smoke just pouring out of the back there. Freaking love it. Up to the command bars. You are not showing on VATSIM. I'm not on VATSIM, Big D1. I should not be on VATSIM. Looking good. We come up to our acceleration altitude. At that point now, we can go ahead and go VNAV, climb, EPR climb. Oops, no, we can't go VNAV yet. There we go. VNAV climb. FMS EPR. We'll go ahead and lower the nose, begin our acceleration. We're going to we have to join this departure on a heading. Or you know what? We can probably just go direct. Let's see if I can do this without stalling the airplane here. I'm going to go direct rugged. I'm going to shortcut myself here. Direct rugged. Execute. Beautiful. Nav. Oops. Why are you not going into nav mode? Don't do this to me. VNav climb. FMS EPR. What? Why are we going straight to heading hold? I don't want that. Let's go back to VNav climb. I must have screwed something up. Alright, we're going to fly the departure here. Heading select. We're going direct to rugged. Go ahead and start retracting those flaps. I'm going to go autopilot on here to help me out. Let's see if that will work. Oh, watch that pitch attitude a little bit there on that flap retraction. Autopilot on. Let's go to a speed hold. Let's go speed select. 250. We're heading select. Let's run through a quick checklist here.
EPR mode.
Climb.
CL. Auto brake selector. Off. Ignition switch. Off. Speed brake.
Retracted.
Retracted. Hydraulic pump strands.
They need to go off.
Hydraulic auxiliary. Off. Nose light.
Off.
Off. Landing lights left and right.
We'll go ahead and turn them off because we're at 10,000 feet.
Seat belt sign.
Auto. Oops, wrong one.
Auto. Checklist complete.
Alright, and
Cruise checklist.
nav track, there we go.
EPR mode.
Alright, we're going to skip the cruise checklist for now. Let's go ahead and enjoy some of this. We're navving. Why are my throttle levers doing that? Weird. Let's just go straight to VNav climb. There we go. I was having a hard time maintaining that speed, it looked like. Here comes a flyby. Watch your ears, headphone users. Oh. I'm digging that. That's pretty juicy if you ask me. Woo. Look at that right there. Swarm 3513, I'm getting ready for a flight from Fort Worth Alliance to LAX, and you're going to fly the 7.6. Excellent. Hopefully you don't get the auto thrust problem. I hope you don't either, man. Good luck, Swarm. Delta 350. No, I think I'm Delta. I don't even know what the call sign is. But I'm not on VATSIM. I shouldn't be on VATSIM. Yeah, I miss seeing the smoke, Lee Ian. Definitely. JCP123, I couldn't agree more, man. Some devs should take note of the modeling of this airplane. Look at the, and I mean, for as old as this plane is, this is an old bird, man. Look at the texturing on the wing. I don't want to hear no X-plane limitation anymore. I mean, that looks pretty darn good. Here comes another flyby. Jump and run, clicked on dislike by accident, almost died. It's alright, man. Flip it around, hit that like button. That's a cool shot coming up through the mountains right there. David G, this makes want to get the rotate on the line again. I totally agree, man. I would do it, David G. I'm telling you, this plane sat in my hangar for, I don't know, what, over a year probably. And you guys asked for it. I didn't think I could fly with it because I had a bug because my avionics switch was off. But once we fix that, I'm hooked again. I like that downwind shot there at the leading edge. Boy ortho doing its thing. Reflection detail. Let's go to my least favorite seat in real life. But that hum, you hear that hum, that hum when you're in the real airplane will rattle your teeth at high power settings. You know, we're only at climb power right now, but in real life, at takeoff, cruise even, that hum, it's got a certain tone to it. It'll just rattle the teeth right out of your head. Carl says, cannot wait for the MD11. I couldn't agree more, man. I stoked for the MD11. I love all those tri-jets, man. 7.2, L1011, MD11. MD11 is going to be a beast of a plane to fly, at least to fly right. You know, you can get on any airplane and just fly around the sim and have fun, but I like to try to fly things close to right, close to real as I can, and to fly the MD11 properly, there is a lot to that bird. Could you take the 172 out one day, please? No clue, Tio. I might, man. You know, I was thinking about doing just a short stream one night on Pilot Edge in a light aircraft. I was probably going to do the King Air or the PA-31, but I'll probably end up doing the twin Cessna from Digital Replica because that thing is pretty freaking sweet. We could do a 172, but what I was going to do, it was going to be more of an educational live stream for ATC communication only. Is the audio a little loud? I feel like it's a little loud. Let me turn it down just a little bit. Having a hard time hearing myself think. So what I was going to do is just have, you know, one stream in the evening or something when there's higher traffic on Pilot Edge, and just kind of talk you guys through proper ATC communication. Are my slats up? No. They are now. Wow. Hope I didn't overspeed them. Nope. 280. Oh, we got close. We didn't overspeed them, though. That's good. Alright, so we'll sync the heading bug here. I have it bound to my MFD, so I don't have to keep reaching up there. So after up jar, we're going to make a left turn out of here. I'm going to come over here and move this to map mode because of all the terrain. I don't see a lot of weather out there. We're going to continue our climb. That was our 1,000 foot to go. We're going to set it up to 290. Continue our climb out. Yeah, David G, I'm super excited. Jeremy Harvey says we will no longer accept any more excuses from developers. Find a way. It can be done. This is a case in point. I totally agree, man. Totally agree. Now you have to remember as well. Excuse me, if my ice chewing gets picked up by the microphone. I'm sorry about that. You have to remember as well with certain developers, some of them have much smaller teams, right? So I can understand where a smaller developer, a smaller team of people may take longer to get things done, and they may just want to get the product out there because it's a business model for them too, right? So they gotta get something out there to get some return on their investment and then continue, hopefully, is the plan. Now, whether or not you agree with the business model, that's just kind of how it is. So, but for developers that just flat out say, nah, we can't do it, it's a limitation, I'm finding it harder and harder to believe. Because you look at this airplane, you look at the FlyJ Sim stuff, I mean, wow, nice color shift change there from active sky. Oh, we're entering the clouds. How are we doing on ice conditions? We're probably definitely in them. Airfoil on. Engine anti-ice 1 and 2 on. And then let's go turn some lights on up here. There we go. I don't need the cockpit flood quite yet, but there we go. 26.7 climbing 290. Things are looking up. Going through the clouds. We're in climb mode. 14,000 fuel remaining. Minus 38 on the SAT, so leave the ice still. There we go, busting through the top. Wow, look at that. Carl Childers says, I gotta tell you, Skipper, I'm okay with the delays as long as they are driving towards a quality release product. Yep. Absolutely, Carl. I would almost, you know, before I was like, hey, I just want the airplane to come out and I want it now before it's completely fixed. Now I'm kind of changing my mentality. Personally, for me, I would almost rather just wait until the airplane came out with good quality instead of having to go through the painstaking process of continued betas and things like that. I mean, you look at the Flight Factor 320, right? I mean, right now it's a good airplane. It's a great airplane. Is it missing some stuff? Yeah, absolutely it is. But compared to when it first came out, whew. So, and I think when you don't release an airplane that's in a poor state, it makes you want to get it to a good state faster than releasing a poor state aircraft and then just telling everybody to deal with it on the forums and then address one bug at a time over the course of a year. You know, I'd rather wait that additional 4 or 5 months, have the airplane come out and be done, than have to live with, you know, sim-breaking bugs for over a year. All right, 28 for 29. We're leveling off here. We'll pull out our cruise checklist. EPR mode, cruise. We got our thrust levers coming back. What do we get on master caution? Anti-ice pressure abnormal. Off, off, off. EPR mode, cruise. There we go. Transponder direction, neutral. Engine sync 1 and 2. We're coming up over here. We're going to go N2 sync on. Cabin pressure and landing elevation is already set. So that is our cruise checklist complete.
Descent checklist.
We'll stop there in preparation for the descent checklist, leveling 290. We've got some fantastic views outside. Let's go ahead and hop outside. Oh. Turn it down just a little bit. Captain Tom, Eagle Dynamics has become good at pushing out unfinished aircraft. Yes, absolutely. FPDC said the Concorde springs to mind. Awesome, but its first release was mediocre. Spoiled people's thoughts and about, yeah. I never ended up picking up the Concorde, so that may be something I have to look into. I do love the Concorde as well, but after that first kind of debacle on the release, I kind of turned away from it. Don't get Carl started on the Hornet. Still missing features. Yep, definitely is. No ground radar, TWS, ACLS issues. Yep. Captain Tom. Oh, the radar guided gun sight. Yeah. Yep. McDonnell Douglas knew how to make good airplanes. Yes, they did. They did it with pilots in mind. Yeah. You know what's funny? Because I look at this cockpit, right? So look how nice and quiet it is in cruise. This is how the cockpit sounds. This is true to reality. This is how it sounds. Then we'll hop back here. Still pretty quiet up in front of the wing, right? And we hop back here. It's pretty quiet still. Could be a tad louder back here, but we're only doing 6.6 Mach. I don't think the engine is hardly running. We're doing 7.2 Mach. Yeah, we're at 80% N1, so we're settled into now. Nice quiet airplane, at least up front. But what I was going to say about the cockpit is it almost looks like the way stuff is so spread out. You look at a Boeing, right? Then you look at an Airbus, and then you have the MD-11. The Airbus was designed by engineers, you can tell. They were engineers before pilots that did the designing on the Airbus. Because there's some things that I look at on the Airbus overhead and the Airbus cockpit that I'm just like, what? What? Wait, what? Why? But then you look at a Boeing cockpit, and I think Boeing kind of took the best from McDonnell Douglas and made it more towards pilots. I think the McDonnell Douglas, the way this cockpit's laid out, almost reminds me of just some pilot up here being like, yeah, we need, let's go ahead and put all our fuel pumps together here, and ignition stuff, that's good. And it's like, oh crap, we need a logo light. Let's go ahead and throw that up there. And all right, that's good. Let's get all our electrical stuff in order over here. Oh shoot, we need a yaw damper. Let's put it up there by the logo lights. Like, I mean, why is the yaw damper up here by the logo light? And, you know, max speed test warnings, stall test warnings. So that's what this cockpit reminds me of. It's just some pilot sitting up here like, yeah, we need that. Yeah, put all those together, our APU, EGT, and percentage. That looks good. Perfect. Okay. Oh, yeah, you know what? We forgot. We need some pneumatic crossfeed valves. Let's go ahead and throw them down right here. Oh, boy, that's my dog. Hold on. We got to let her out. So I totally did not know my dog was trapped in the room with me, so that was why she was freaking out. But yeah, that's kind of that's how I like to imagine this cockpit was put together. Just some super smart pilots up here, just kind of throwing stuff at the screen, see where it sticks. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at where we're doing here. So this approach into Aspen can eat your lunch if you're not ready for it. Now, I'm hoping, let me do a quick refresh on Active Sky, see what the current ATIS is showing, because I really hope it's still clear. We'll probably end up having to start on the localizer and then drop down. Right now, Aspen is showing clear. Perfect. 330 at 4. Ooh, 330 at 4, do you say? Should we have to land 3-3? We might just come in on 1.5 still. We'll make it more challenging. I'd rather take the upslope. So Aspen has almost a 2% grade, and you can tell that here on the charts by looking here on these are not the JEP charts, but the government charts. 1.9% upslope on 1.5 versus, well, it would probably be the opposite, right? A 2% downgrade or downslope landing 3.3. Which that's, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's pretty significant. So I would probably, at 4 knots, I think I'd come in 1.5 here, and we'll just take the upslope with that 4 knots. Now, if there's any more than 4 or 5 knots, we'd probably flip it around and land 3.3. But we're going to stick with 1.5 for now. It's a 8,000-foot runway. It's kind of on a plateau next to a mountain. Pretty sketchy. So we're going to prepare ourselves for the LOC DME Echo. We're not going to do the RNF because that's no fun. We're going to prepare ourselves for the LOC DME Echo into Aspen. Now, Jeremy Harvey says, Boeing cockpits seem to be more utilitarian, but Airbus cockpits were designed with user-friendliness and pilot comfort in mind. Yes, I would agree with that. Definitely, but there was definitely some engineer stuff in the Airbus that I'm just kind of like, what? And then you realize, well, yeah, an engineer or a guy with an engineer-driven mind can explain it, or I'm just kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird. But, all right, here we go. 111.15. We'll just go ahead and set up early. We're going to get a no nav up here probably. Oh, no, that looks good. 111.15 is set. Our approach course is 151. So we'll dial that in ahead of time. I want to get this airplane completely set up before it's time to go down because, like I said, you get behind on this approach, maybe your last one. So 151 on the courses. Airport elevation, look at that, 7837. That's high up there. All right, we're coming in kind of on a few routes. So we're going to hit Ajax. And as long as we meet Ajax, what is it, 13.4? So Jaguar or Jargu is a 13.4, which is an intermediate fix right here on the approach. as long as we are at 13.4, I'm probably going to come in a little bit lower on the profile initially. I'm probably going to plan across Ajax at 13.4. So let's go ahead and make sure the box represents that. Ajax 13,400, it already does. So that looks good right there at Ajax. After that, we pretty much have a rip and slope to come down. Now, we can attempt to go down in vertical speed mode, which we're probably going to end up having to do because a 3-degree path, I've already done the math, if we're at 13.4 to 11.7, it's like 5 point something. Essentially, you would have to be about 12.5 miles from the localizer to start down on a 3-degree path, but you're going to end up high. So more often than not, you're going to be diving and driving on this. I'm probably definitely going to dive and drive, and to be honest with you, if we get the Pappies in sight, we're just going to blow through these, and we're going to try to get down on a nice 2 white, 2 red approach path into Aspen. Probably, we're going to try not to drag it in. That's a tendency. You don't want to drag it in, but we're going to put it down. Don't want to be floating. Our minimums, you can't even set the minimums. 10,220 feet for Cat C. So I think we're probably between, what's our approach speed going to be? Our init ref is saying approach speed at 120 knots, so that should put us, oh my gosh, I don't remember these categories. Either B or C. I'm going to take the safer one, C, which is 10,220 feet, which brings us 2,300 feet above the ground, almost 2,400 feet AGL. So you can't really set your rad out to 2,400. So we're just going to have to go off our MSL on that. So we've got that set up. We're going to do a flaps 40 landing. We're also going to set up our auto brakes to max. We can arm them once we are flaps full on our way down. We can probably go ahead and get the seatbelt sign. Oh, the seatbelt sign is off there. Perfect. All right, level 290. How we looking? We're approaching Eker, which is our top of descent. Oh, and I feel good now. Dimitri says, yeah, that's the PTU. That was a PTU mod I installed on the MD80. Airbus cockpits are for people like me. Yeah, man. I love the Airbus cockpit now. I mean, once you've been in it for a while, it's pretty hard to go back to something else. I mean, I even in real life, I have friends that have been on the Airbus and then have gone to a 737, and you know, even if they like the airplane or whatnot, it's pretty much a unilateral yes or yes or agreement that the Airbus cockpit is definitely more comfortable, more room, more thought out. So the Boeing definitely challenges you to, you know, move some switches around. Captain Tom says, I have a challenge for you. Use no reverse. No, we're going to drop these buckets, man. We're going full reverse in here. We should be fine. 8,000 feet, we really should be fine. Temperature's cool. It's not as high density altitude, but this field may be above the max landing elevation for the MD80 anyway, so we're going to find out. Nevada Rock says, a friend of mine found the 777F last weekend from Kennedy to Frankfurt at a tail end of 231 and the ground speed of 741. Wow. My record ground speed, I'm trying to remember. I think it was 680. I think the highest ground speed I've seen was 680. So, yeah, 231 knots, that's moving. The highest, that's about right, because I think the highest tailwind, it was 200, it was about 200 knots, or like 195 knots or something like that, which would put us right around that same ground speed that you're saying that your buddy had in the 777, which he probably was cruising at, I don't know what Mach number, but he's probably doing a lot faster than 8.0. The fastest I saw was 680. We were doing 8.1 Mach, and it was in an Embraer, believe it or not. So, yeah, 180 to 200 knot tailwind. Might give Flagstaff AZ a try. Yes, I've flown into Flagstaff a ton of times, man. Fun airport in real life. I haven't done it in X-Plane, but we could give that a shot as well. Might have to do a little hop in the Cessna 310. Oh, highest winds? I don't know. I mean, I've seen headwinds upwards of 200 and something knots. I mean, my very first flight ever, I think I told you guys, in the Airbus anyway, from Miami to LA, a red eye at night, and we had a 200 plus knot headwind, and it took us almost 7 hours to get there. There was another airline that actually had to divert for fuel. The winds were forecasted higher. I'm sorry, they were forecasted lower than their actual winds than they were. They increased, and you can get in a fuel situation there if you don't have the proper fuel load. So we saw somebody divert because they just didn't have the fuel. Like, yeah, we got to divert to Phoenix. They made it all the way to Phoenix, and then they wouldn't have enough fuel. They probably would have had enough fuel to get in, but for reserve requirements and things like that, they went ahead and took a pit stop. Pilot Man 71. Oh God, Aspen and MD80. Yikes! I hate that place. It's the worst place to have an airport. Second only to Telluride. Yeah, Telluride's nuts, man. Is it Telluride or Aspen? I think it's Telluride. That in the FBO, they have a book of all the crashes that happened there. Is that Telluride? Maybe one of you guys that have been there can let me know. It's either Aspen or Telluride that they have a book of all the crashes that happened at the airport. And I remember one time we were waiting for something. I don't know what we were waiting around for, but one of our passengers was looking through that book and getting all nervous. It's just like, hey man, don't worry about it. We'll be fine. We're in a citation. It's basically a 172 with jet engines. Or basically a 172 with 2 APUs on the tail. Pilot Man, your highest vertical speed was 6,000 feet per minute out of SFO. That's moving. If my ground speed drops to below 400, I start crying. Yeah, this time of year, man, in the U.S., with that jet stream way down low, it's not uncommon to see ground speeds below 300. I think I posted a picture in the Discord not too long ago. 280 knot ground speed, which sucked. Philly to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Dallas, I think we were going. All right, let's hop inside here. How far are we out? We are getting ready to begin our descent. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it in VNAV. We're going to set 13.4 up here in the window. So 13 and then click and... Oops, nope. Click and drag. 13.4 is set. FMS Mach, VNAV level. That looks good. Take a quick look at our speeds here. So slats extend 280 to 240 at full. I mean, man, you can dirty up this plane in a hurry. Flap 11, 280. So once we're below 240, we can shoot. Once we're below 200, we can go all the way full flap. So I'm going to slow down early as well. We'll probably dial it back to 210 or so once we get down there at 180 knots, begin configuring. We're going to configure early. We're going to do everything early on this one. Love that wing view right there. Dimitri, you still find the wing flex weird on this plane for such small wings? I'm telling you, man. What do you think's wrong with it? You think it's too exaggerated? Let's look. I mean, the 80 wing does flex, man. I don't know, man. I'd have to see some more pictures. These are, it's a smaller bird, but I mean, these wings you have to remember, there's no engines on them. It's all lift. It's all lift. I mean, it does look maybe a tad bit exaggerated right here in cruise. I think I've said this before. This almost looks like a high AOA situation or a high lift where you're really producing that lift and take off that initial rotation. Oh, sounds like we're throttling back. Not quite. All right, so our VNAV is prepared. I keep hitting this emergency light switch up there. There we go. Just about 8 miles from EKR now. I never set standard up here. That's not a good thing. This is going to freak the airplane out too. You know what, I'm not going to mess with it just because it'll start a climb and then it'll be out of sync for its descent. So that was an oopsie on my part. At 18,000 we should have set standard. Pilot Man says I have his trip on Saturday to Eagle from Teterboro. Gonna be long. Oh yeah, definitely Pilot Man. That's a long one. Ever flying to Houston? Yes, all the time. Oh, here's a turn. Let's do a flyby shot. Here she comes. I mean, that flyby is pretty nice. If these guys are doing, I mean, if they're doing an Airbus sound pack, I might have to check it out. Pretty good. Pretty good if you ask me. Alright, here comes TOD. Now, she should descend automatically, I believe. Yep, VNAV descent. Here we go. We'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign on.
Sync rate.
What?
Sync rate.
Okay.
Sync rate.
Really?
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
That's interesting.
Sync rate.
It almost thinks I'm in landing mode.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Or like I think this, I don't know, that's weird.
Sync rate.
You know, I might have screwed something up when I quit X-Plane middle of a replay.
Sync rate.
Maybe some of the triggers got messed up with the sound pack. That's interesting. I did not have that the first time.
Altitude.
Sync rate.
We'll go ahead and set our altitude to set. EPR mode needs to go climb mode.
PR mode.
Sync rate.
Are properly stowed.
There we go.
Your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you're using Wi-Fi, please complete your session in the next few minutes.
There's one of our
This will
announcements.
automatically turn off once we reach 10,000 feet. Your laptops and larger electronic devices must be stowed. Flight attendant until we pass through the cabin to collect any used service items you'd like to discard at this time.
There's our announcements.
Sync rate.
I don't know why we're still sync rating.
Sync rate.
I hope that will stop at some point.
Sync rate.
EPR mode
CL.
is in climb.
Transponder direction.
Transponder direction needs to go to below.
Sync rate.
That is set.
Sync rate.
Below. Cabin pressure and
Sync
landing
rate.
elevation.
That is set.
Sync rate.
Set. Engine safe.
Sync
Off.
rate.
On. Seatbelt sign.
On.
On.
At 10,000 feet, the landing
Landing lights
lights.
left and
Perfect.
Sync rate.
Approach and landing checklist.
Sync rate.
Why is it doing a sync rate?
Sync rate.
That is interesting.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Is there a JipWiz thing we can pull?
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
Alright, let's take a look around here. I don't know. I know where it is on the Airbus.
Sync rate.
Ground, service, electrical power. There's our fire detection. Can't pull any circuit breakers, unfortunately.
Sync rate.
Radio, EFIS, norm, radio nav, blah blah blah. Ground proximity.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Override?
Sync rate.
Nope. Normal?
Sync rate.
That's the switch.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Interesting.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Very interesting.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
Well,
Sync rate.
that's going to get annoying.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
Alright, we're 22. We're on the VNAV path, though. Everything's looking good. So we don't need to be listening to that. Let's hop back here. We'll enjoy this view for a minute. Yeah, I don't know how it's getting a sync rate, Captain Tom. I really don't. Well, a pretty normal VNAV descent. I mean, 2,000 feet a minute, and maybe it's a little too much for it.
Sync rate.
Let me do this. Let me do a selected speed.
Sync rate.
Let me go speed select,
Sync rate.
and let me go.
Sync rate.
Let me try to dial it back.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
Shallow out this descent a little bit, maybe.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
I'll shallow it up.
Sync rate.
Interesting. Well, we'll set it at 1700. It thinks it's in landing mode or something, because that should be able to descend. That should only come on a certain altitude above the ground, i.e. ground proximity warning system. So that's interesting. We're going to put data on map plan. No airports required. So we got to be careful that we don't get a little bit. So to counteract this, I'm going to go a little bit of speed brake. I'm going to slow down. So instead of barreling in here and getting high, because we can't descend faster because I don't want to listen to the sync rate warning, I'm going to slow us up a little bit and extend our descent. Give us a little bit more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time we are making our final approach. Please
There we
return
go.
your seatbacks and tray tables to their full upright lock position. Make sure all carry-on items are properly stowed in the overhead bin or underneath the seat in front of you. All meat, dairy, and other food products must be declared and cleared by customs officials if this is your final destination.
All right, there we go. Oh, was it? Yeah, the gear warning is on the pedestal somewhere right here. Gear warning, but that wasn't a gear warning horn. That was a jip whiz. And I messed with the switch on the overhead. The jip whiz, you are right, Captain. It's up here, ground prox warning. But
Please return your seatbacks and tray tables to their full upright lock position. Make sure all carry-on items are properly stowed in the overhead bin or underneath the seat in front of you. All meat, dairy, and other food products must be
Robert
declared
says press
and
altitude,
cleared
hold
by
quick and
customs
resume. I'll give that a
officials
shot
if
here in a
this
minute.
is your final destination.
I mean, this just looks too freaking sweet right here. And like those announcements, she has a really good boarding announcement and everything too. So I really like the announcements. They sound like they're recorded straight from the PA system itself. Very good, very good. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to try that. I'm going to stow the brakes. I'm going to try to go back to VNAV descent. No. Come back. Well, you wanted me to level off it. Well, it seems to be holding it now. We should be all right.
To their full upright lock position. Make sure all carry-on items are properly stowed in the overhead bin or underneath the seat in front of you. All meat, dairy, and other food products must be declared and cleared by customs officials if this is your final destination.
This is our final destination, folks. Man, I love that wing right there. Yep. All right. Let's not get distracted here. VNAV descent. Why isn't 13.4 armed? There she goes. 13.4 is armed. And we're already... I can see the airport off my front there. So immediately, speed select. I'm going to dial this all the way back. Let's start slowing down. I can see the airport off the right-hand side there.
Ignition switch mode. On.
Both.
Hydraulic pump strands. On. Hydraulic auxiliary. On. Gear down.
And we'll stand by on the gear for a second there. Sync you up right there. We're 10,000 AGL, so we're going to get the lights on right now. Oh, you know what I left? When logo lights become or floodlights become cruising lights, so they're on. Here we go. Begin that slow down. I can see the airport, so this is good. You know what? I wish I had track IR. That's my excuse for a bad landing. All right, 250. We can even get those slats out. Let's go. There's 240. Really get that drag out there. This plane dirties up in a hurry. Stabilize our motion. We'll go ahead and drop the gear down.
Down. Green lights.
Waiting for the
Flaps.
green lights. We're going to keep dialing the speed back. What was our ref? It was 120 plus 5. I'm going to do 125. We're going to drop this sucker in there. Flaps 15. We're below 200. We're pretty much good on the... Wow, we're going to just go ahead and disconnect you. And I'm going to take over you, and I'm going to disconnect the auto thrust. And we're going to keep configuring, and we're going to fly this sucker down. My airplane. We're visual, so we're not going to have, we don't have to worry about meeting the restrictions, which is good.
Right. Speed brake.
Armed.
Arm.
Oh,
Auto brake selector.
we got to arm it now that our flaps are full.
Max. Auto brake.
We'll go ahead and kill our flight directors.
Sync rate.
Arm.
That's on me.
Checklist complete.
Sync rate.
That's on me.
Taxi in checklist.
Sync rate.
That's on me with the
Ignition
sync rate.
switch.
We don't need the taxi in
Sync rate.
checklist.
Sync rate.
All right, so we're going to have to deal with that sync
Sync
rate
rate.
because we need to be on this descent.
Sync rate.
We'll slow it up a little bit more here. We'll come all the way back. 140, we're configured. So right about, it seems to be 1800. It seems to trigger that sync rate warning. We're going to set missed approach altitude of 14,000. It's set. I just made that number up. I'm going to go, I want you to come back to Rose Nav. There we go. VOR Loc.
Sync rate.
I hear you.
Sync rate.
Just got to have to deal with it.
Sync rate.
So right now we're still 4 whites, but you don't want to drop down too low because there's a mountain right there. Brace, brace, heads down, stay down. Oh, come on, it's not that bad yet. We're looking good right now, actually. We're stable, we're ref, our landing checklist is complete. We just got to fit her in the bowl here. Waypoint alert. Out of 10-5, down to land, clear to land. Let's take a quick peek back here. Oh yeah, that's cool. The aileron moving. I love X-Plane. I really do.
1,000.
I do wish I had track IR, I'm not gonna lie. It makes it a lot easier. Alright. How are we looking? We're 2 whites, 2 reds now. So to maintain that glide slope, we're almost doing 2,000 feet a minute coming down. So this is where you gotta really get that flare down. You don't want to crash land into the frickin' threshold, but you also don't want to float. Now, unfortunately, I think the pavement, the 1,000-foot markers, are misaligned on this runway, at least the last time I looked at it. They look to only be a couple hundred feet from the end of the runway, where in real life there would really be 1,000 feet down the runway. But since then I've installed the freeware Aspen scenery, so maybe these are a little bit better. We're looking good now. A little bit, we're VREF plus 10. We'll walk it back. Right on the loc, we're on the slope. I'm gonna live with 3 reds and 1 white right now, just because there's a big airplane to be taken in here. We're 1,000 feet stable. Oh, that is a narrow window right there.
500.
Okay,
400.
brace, brace, brace.
300. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, gosh. We should probably go
10.
around. We're down. 440. Ouch. With a giant bounce. Man, I did so much better when I wasn't streaming. As always. Man, we slowed down in a hurry, though. Holy crap. You know what? We can even take this exit right here. Oh, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an MD80 in Aspen, Colorado. That was firm. We are here. We gotta find a place to park this sucker, too. Let's go ahead and clean it up. Whew, buddy. That was interesting. Let's find a parking spot here. I see one over here. Make the left turn. Rip. That was an ugly one for sure. You know what happened there too is I got slow again and that thing just dropped. We're going to have to do another flight and redeem myself next stream. We're going to take this sucker back in here and I'm going to redeem myself at one point. I think when I practiced, I did one landing before the stream and it was a... Oh, it wasn't a 400, it was like a 300, 312 or something. But ouch! We're gonna go right over here. David G. Firm but safe. Absolutely. I'd much rather have a firm landing with you guys than go off the end of the runway. Gotta swing this nose way over. We have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. We can, I think I was out of order there. Let's drop it. We're going to have to take a look at that replay for sure. V1 and Solely Voice, prepare for impact. Oh yeah, I felt it right there on ShortFinal. I started to feel a little nervous. I'm totally choked on that one. But let's go ahead and back it up. Let's see. We'll watch it from here for a second. Whew. I don't know which one do I want to watch it from. Captain Tom says, now imagine doing that approach, but later in the evening and after a few drinks. I know, man. I've already started. Probably should have done it in broad daylight. Dougal says, show some love to that like button, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, like that hard landing for me.
200, 100.
Low vis.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Ooh, you can tell I tried to save it too with the engines. Wow, that seemed like a high bounce too. Oh, I should have definitely gone around on that one. Oh boy, we should have definitely gone around. Oh no. Oh no. This is why you always disable real view. I didn't disable real view. Save it? Yes. Okay. Whew. Wow, that could have been bad. Here we go.
10, 10,
Listen to the engines. I definitely tried to save it.
50, 40,
Right there.
30,
I knew it.
20,
I knew I was
10.
slow. I knew I was slow. I got slow. Does my airspeed readout work?
10,
It kind of does. Let's back it up. I want to watch this airspeed as we
Yeah.
come in here. So let's watch it from the cockpit view. I'm going to zoom in on the airspeed indicator. Let's take a look at this.
400,
So 140. You guys were saying below 140 she drops like a rock. Well, that
300,
is true. Ref was 125.
100,
So right there, look at the trend though. That airspeed is trending down. Oh yeah, that. Oh boy. Yeah, that was ugly. Let's see what it looked like from outside.
10,
Let's take a look. Let's go from the runway view. I bounce into space. Ooh, crunch. Oh, I almost saved it. I think I almost saved it, but man, you know what would have hurt more was that second impact. That first one was almost saved the bounce. Ooh, like that actually didn't look. I mean, there's definitely a cruncher. I'm surprised it bounced that high up. I think it's because it was a mix between that power surge and my over rotation on the flare there. Look at that. Holy crap. I think that's a definite over flare. So right here, I should have set toga, and I should have just held this pitch attitude and gone around. That's what I should have done. That's probably what I would have done in real life. At least I'd like to think so. But I said, know what? I can save it. Second impact. Reversers. And we're down. Right on center line, though. You got to give me that. Yeah, Issa, definitely smaller flare. Alright. We'll watch a couple more. Let's take a look from the tower view. Let's see what Aspen Tower got to witness here. Approach was pretty stable. Just right here is I was trending slow. Too high over flare. Man, that's ugly. I gotta redeem myself. Second bounce. And we're down. Well, yes, I'm using the SoundMod Jet Kit 1230 exclamation point sound pack. Or SoundMod sound pack.
10,
Alright guys, well, hey, it wasn't a butter. It wasn't a good landing. It wasn't a great landing. It was firm. There is no doubt about it. But I hope you had fun. I definitely had fun. Let's see. Tomorrow there is a possibility of another stream. I would really like to redeem myself on this MD80 now because that's going to leave a bad taste. Going to leave a bad taste in my mouth. But I think we're going to end it there. We'll watch a couple more here. Thank you guys for tuning in the stream. Hope you had fun. Short and sweet and firm. So, oh man, short, sweet, and firm. Until next time, guys, thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you for my mod sponsors, the new members. Welcome to the V1 community. Hopefully, I won't break your back on the next landing. Until next time, friends, I will see y'all later.
$50.